What is up, my bodyweight warriors? Welcome back to another day of eating. Starting the day off, as always, with some coffee. This morning's read, it's good to great, which is more of a business book than anything. Usually I try and stick something like health and fitness related, but I'm quite enjoying it. It's a good read. Archie.
Hello.
Seeing as we're talking about books, I wanted to answer today's topic question right at the beginning of the video, which is from Noah McAllister, and he says, how do you learn all of these recipes? The reason for these day of eating videos is for me to give you more information about how I cook and then also provide recipes on my blog, but I'm aware that I can only do that one recipe a week at a time. And obviously there are many better chefs and cooks than me out there. Why not give you a few resources to get going with? This man, Jamie Oliver, he's a star. Cooking, his general approach to recipes, very simple and very tasty, which are kind of two of the main things when it comes to cooking food. You don't want it to be really complicated and take forever, and you want it to taste amazing. Most of the time he uses some really good fresh ingredients, generally approach to higher quality foods. He has lots of spices and herbs and all of that good stuff in there, and most of the time he sticks with pretty whole, healthy ingredients. I might have to substitute the odd thing here and there. Most of the time his recipes get a really good thumbs up from me, and they're always tasty. Starting is probably the most important thing. How I learned to cook and how I learned to create recipes is the same way as how I learned to do bodyweight exercises, how I learned to do a handstand, how I learned to do mobility stuff. I saw something and I did it. Regardless of how I think it was going to turn out, I did my best to replicate what I saw and see how it works and see how it tastes and learn from that. And that's probably the best way you can learn how to cook, is actually to start cooking. On to breakfast. Breakfast, very simply, that fried egg, and then all I did was sprinkle feta on top. When you cook that slowly, when you're frying it, it kind of all melts into the egg. Really good. Just mackerel, salad, olives, and then celery and carrot and some almond butter. Just the usual high fat, higher protein, lower carb breakfast. Before I forget, if you have a question like the topic at the beginning of this video about where I get my recipes from, etc., those sort of things, leave a comment down below. The top rated or most common question will be answered in the next day of eating. So make sure you leave a comment, join the conversation.
So it's not in a bad way. It's my least favorite.
So it's now like 2 o'clock. I forgot to mention that I've just been on a podcast with LACHLAN Walker and Tyson Edwards, two guys who created the Stronger Bodyweight series among other awesome series on YouTube, and one of the big inspirations of why I created like the Project Plant back in the day. So it was really awesome chatting to them. It's going to be on a podcast in a few weeks' time. But that being said, I'm feeling a little bit hangry, or maybe just in need of some coffee. Coffee, and then probably the best combo in the world, dark chocolate, almond butter, or coconut and almond butter in this case. Too good. That'll do for the pre-workout-ish snack. Macros will be higher because there was a good amount of dark chocolate and almond butter there. Before I go to the gym, I want to make today's recipe, which is for pudding later on today, and that is a vanilla coconut almond chia pudding. It's a very simple recipe, only 5 ingredients, and it's pretty damn delicious. It's lower in carbohydrates if you want it to be, a little bit higher in fat, good amount of protein. It is an excellent breakfast if you wanted to prep it the night before. It literally takes 2 minutes to prep. And if you leave it for between 7 and 8 hours, you get this really nice thick kind of jelly, and you can top it with whatever. So I'm going to show you quickly how to make that. It couldn't be easier. This is all you're going to need. You're just going to need some almond butter, chia seeds, unflavored whey protein or vanilla whey protein, some vanilla extract, and coconut milk. And that is all you're going to need. The full recipe will be in the description down below, but essentially put it into a blender if you want, but you don't really have to. You can just throw it into a bowl, mix it all together, put it into a glass, and leave it to set for between 6 and 8 hours. I've got to mention, guys, you'll probably also want to add a little bit of stevia. If you can see that, I've got some vanilla flavored stevia, which just helps sweeten up, or you can add a little bit of honey as well. So really simple recipe, guys. Takes 6 to 8 hours in the fridge. As I said, full link to the recipe down below if you want full details, but now it's time to go and train.
Bye.
So, bit of a weird session today. I didn't really have much time and I just couldn't be bothered. I'm in a weird place for my training because I'm just off one injury. I'm almost back to normal. So I'm like, I haven't got a program. I really should get a program, focus on something, stay consistent to get those results, but I'm just not doing that. I'm staying consistent with my rehab and everything else is just kind of a bit random. But it is now like 5:30 and although today is a day of eating, I've kind of forgotten to eat. It just kind of happens when I eat right for myself and my blood sugar is good, and that morning meal I have a nice big high fat, highest protein, lower carb meal. I just don't feel hungry for the rest of the day, albeit I did have highest fat snack as well. Sometimes just the way it is. I'm now going to go and make dinner that I'm making for my family and then also some people who are coming over. It is the same recipe I think as the last episode, the Joe Wicks recipe, which is like a chicken and chorizo thing. For some reason, it's just what we make when people come over. But again, I'll put it in the description down below. It's a really great, easy, delicious recipe if you haven't tried it and you love things that are cheesy and meaty. That is it for the food for today. That chicken and chorizo with rice. Probably not the healthiest of meals because there is some like processed red meat and a lot of cheese, but it's really freaking tasty. And then that chia pudding dessert. It's something I haven't actually made in a long time. If you don't like the texture of the chia seeds, you can just blend it. And then it's like kind of not too sweet, but nicely sweet, nicely fresh, nicely cold. Really good, easy dessert. And obviously macros are pretty good as well. And then for the day as well, overall, I think probably a little bit low on calories. But again, I've just been focusing on doing other stuff at the moment, like setting up this business and trying to bring good content to you guys and focusing on that. And because I've been injured, I've been focusing less on myself, less about what I'm doing, which I think I mentioned earlier. So sometimes it's the way it is. Saying that, if you enjoyed this episode, hit that thumbs up button and support the channel. If you have any questions or if you want to suggest a topic for today, the next day of eating, leave a comment down below. But that's been it for this week, guys. Have a strong week and peace.